against what will the Canadian dollar go down, or against what will the US dollar go down?
Hello, my Teaser King family. Just wanted to do kind of a quick update and just more explanation. So, looking at COMEX, again, we had this 10 o'clock drop, but it looks like it happened at 10. They've been monkeying around with this time where sometimes it's at 11 o'clock. Here it happened at 9:30. So it was 23.61, went down to 23.32, and then it's now back to 23.52 going up, or 23.51. So, and silver's at 28.47. So let's explain. These are not stocks, and the down is a manipulation of the U.S. Federal Reserve / JP Morgan putting in derivatives to lower the paper price of gold. This is not selling. This is not people dumping gold. And the other way, people are buying more gold than they can, that's even out there. So people are buying gold. The demand for gold is very strong. Keep that in mind. So all that's happening is the U.S. can't compete with gold, right? The U.S. dollar can't compete with gold. So they're printing and printing, and they printed it to death. It has no value. Only most people don't realize it. They go, I got $100 in my pocket, or I got 20 grand in my bank. I'm fine. And you're not fine. This is monopoly money. So we've talked about that quite a bit. And how does the value get determined? Right now by the U.S. controls the commodities. That's why China and BRICS is saying, screw you, we're going to come up with the commodities and gold, not priced in U.S. dollars, but priced in a new form of pricing. And May 14th, you'll have a gold-backed BRICS currency. I don't understand the digital. I think the citizens, there's not everybody's going to go digital. I think that, like, there'll be people in Russia, let's say, I think they'll be able to go to the bank and get, they'll get dollars for it. At least I hope so. I don't want just digital. I want to be able to, if I'm there, get rubles or gold-backed currency or whatever. So keep that in mind. Hey, Greg and John. Well, I'm talking gold and silver right now. So gold's 23.50, silver's 28.48. But I'm explaining this whole 10 o'clock drop. So again, it's not real, it's derivative. And I find that people, I was on Twitter, and Alligator had a post, and they're talking about that the gold is going to be volatile. I don't fucking understand. It's unbelievable. It's not volatile. It's going through the moon, and then the U.S. tries to do these paper derivatives to lower the price, but they're paper. They're not real. And what's happening is they do have to put this. Let me just send this to Jenna. Just a second, everybody. So um, basically, the regular person doesn't get it. I'll talk baseball later, Greg and John. What's it? Tom Brady Day, New England. I'll talk. I'll talk right now. I'm just gonna hit some gold, but just want to talk about it. So basically, what you need to understand is it's not. This is not like stocks where um, there's profit taking and everything. There's no profit taking going on whatsoever. It's the U.S. fighting the gold price because they can't compete with it. So there's money, gold and silver, and then there's the paper fiat, which is just, oh, I have faith the U.S. government will support it, which we all know is bullshit. So the dollar's going out, and you need to get out of the dollar and into gold and silver. And people, there's $100 million going out of Costco every month. People buying the gold bars from Switzerland, the little 1 ounce gold bars. The only problem is it's 1 ounce and it's going to cost you $2,400, so it does get a little expensive. Um, Versus like I just bought a 1/4 ounce maple leaf, right? And I only had to pay $650 for it. So there's a big difference there. Anyway, um, every country, for some reason, I think George Soros has gone away from a gold backed currency and gone to this, oh, let's just print our money to death, which makes no sense. It's never worked in the history of life. Ask the Romans, ask the French, ask the English, ask the Spanish, or ask the Amsterdammers. I never know if they're Copenhagen or Dane, whatever the hell the Amsterdammers are. So I think we all know them as Amsterdammers. They all had gold. They all had the strong reserve currency, and they all went out because they got off of gold. So it's amazing why they're not on gold now. I guess they want wars and they want to print money. It just makes no sense. The MMT is a lot behind it, which are Keynesian economists who say it's okay to run up a debt, you just print money, which is not right. The money is the most important thing in your country. You must protect it and you must keep it valuable. Once you lose the value of your money and it's paper and it's worthless, everything else is gone. You're fucked. That's why I recall it as the Titanic. The Titanic can't sink, just like the dollar. Hits the iceberg, which is the MMT printing press, which prints and prints and prints until it's zero. The water floods the boat. The dollars flood the system, and it sinks. The boat sinks, and the system sinks, which is exactly what's happening now in the whole world, though. The only white guys are BRICS, who going to gold, and Zimbabwe, who went to gold, and then the rest of Africa will go to gold, and probably most of Asia, Latin America, the ones in BRICS, will be on a gold-backed system. But it's so easy and obvious. Why aren't you on it already? So it doesn't really make sense to not be on a gold-backed system to protect yourself. And that's the lifeboat. So you're in the dollar, the euro, the British pound, whatever you're in, you must you must realize if you don't have it backed by gold and you keep printing it, you got to print more and more and more until it goes to zero. And you must understand that logic. And it's been there since the Romans when they did it, and everybody else. You keep printing, and what happens is nobody trusts you anymore. So they can't trust the dollar's valid, which it isn't. As soon as somebody comes back to the gold system, the dollar's gone. So here's BRICS. China's got 60,000 tons. Russia's got 30,000 tons. Don't listen to the central bank figures. Oh, China's got 2,000 tons of gold. No, they got 60,000. Russia's got 30,000, roughly. Between the banks, Putin's swimming pool, and the central bank, because they're not stupid. They don't keep it in the central bank. So the only way the U.S. survives is to go on a gold-backed system. Either we join BRICS or use the BRICS money or have our own, but we don't have any gold, or at least it's not known we have any gold. Again, we don't show our cards to say, look, we do have 10,000, 8,000 ounces, or we have 2,000 ounces. Hopefully we have some ounces of gold, because if we don't go on a gold-backed system, it's like playing football 11 against 7. We only have 7 players. We're not on gold, and we'll get killed, and that's the problem. So fortunately, right now it's at 23.46, 28.46 silver. But you'll see this every day. This is the price fixing, right? From 23.58 down to 23.32. So it goes down $25. But don't panic. Understand it's fixed. Understand that's the Fed trying to keep the price down, because this cannot compete with gold, and they think people are really stupid. So if they see the price of gold drop, they won't buy it. That's their mentality. This is the idiots we have in charge of the government. No, we understand that the dollar is worthless. We understand gold is the only lifeboat. So on the Titanic, it's sinking because it hits the iceberg. The water's in, the boat's going down, and then there's lifeboats, and you get into the lifeboat to get off the Titanic, so you're not at the bottom of the Atlantic. Same thing in the dollar. They print the dollar too much. That's the iceberg. And then all the dollars come in to the economy. It's way too much. It's sinking, and then it's going to sink at the bottom of the Atlantic. And the only place you can go, the only lifeboat, is gold and silver. It's not necessarily real estate. See, anything. I had this talk with the guy at the barbecue place, and the only, I don't think he gets it. The only real all the assets priced in dollars go to zero. But that's not, it's just going to change into getting priced in gold. So my Canadian club, let's say it's $100 now in dollars, right? And as the dollars get inflated, maybe it's worth 120 if the market will bear it. And again, that's letting the market bear it. So it becomes more valuable. Then the dollar goes out. Well, this can't be priced in dollars because the dollar is worthless. So this goes to zero. So you think, oh my God, this goes to zero, but it gets priced in gold and silver. And so your house, you're sitting in a $500,000 house, it goes to zero because everything in dollars goes to zero. So understand this main concept. Everything in dollars loses its value because the dollar loses its value. The dollar is the medium of exchange, which is we're going to use dollars to price everything. And you're going to get paid in dollars, and you're going to buy things in dollars. And so when that happens, everything's worthless in dollars. But now here comes the new medium of exchange. So in places like Zimbabwe, it's been a new dollar, not backed by anything. And that sticks around for a little bit, and then that goes to zero. And they've tried it 4 times. So then it gets priced in the new dollar, goes to zero, gets priced in the new. Finally, it gets priced in a gold-backed currency. So now your house gets priced in the gold-backed currency. Not necessarily 500,000 because that was priced in dollars, but in fact, it'll get priced in gold and silver currency, whatever. So maybe it's only worth 100,000, but it's 100,000 gold-backed currency, which is equivalent to the 500,000 in inflated dollars. So that's what will happen. You just get it repriced in the new currency. There's always got to be a medium of exchange, which means there's always got to be something you get paid in and something you pay your expenses with. That's always got to happen, right? Always. So keep that in mind that if that always has to happen, we're just switching mediums of exchanges. So my friend at the restaurant, he owns the barbecue place, is all worried. Oh, it's going to be terrible. And no, it's just going to be. See, people don't get it. It's going to be switched. There's no barter system. You'll come out with a new medium of exchange. There'll be a new dollar. So this dollar goes away. There'll be a new dollar, hopefully backed by gold, to take its place. There's no barter because you'll have a medium of exchange. Barter is like I'm going to trade you a cow for a pig or something like that, or a horse for a moose. That's the barter system when you're not trading in money. You're not going to go to Kroger's and give them a silver quarter for milk. No, 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 no. They're not going to accept it because they don't know what it's worth anyway. Uh, 23, 46, 28. So it's holding in relatively nicely. And I think, so that's the thing with it. It's really not going to have barter at the grocery store. These people with the barter and these little old quarters and dimes and nickels are really, they don't have any concept of economics. Um, what they're saying is, well, this old quarter is worth something because it's partly silver. How much silver? 50% silver? Is it 75% silver? Well, the people who you're bartering with know how much silver it is. Will they know it's a half ounce? And then will they price it? How are you going to price silver? Silver's 28.50 in dollars, but it won't be priced in dollars anymore. Silver will be priced in silver and gold will be priced in gold, or there'll be a new currency that'll price it. But let's say we go to the gold back currency, gold will just be gold. Oh, it can buy a house. I was kidding with the guy at the restaurant. I said, well, your house is worth 500 grand. It'll go to zero. And then I'll buy your house for 2 ounces of gold, which you'll take because it'll be a ton of money. So pricing it in dollars isn't really accurate, but it's going to be what will gold buy. That's why we all run out and buy gold and silver, because it's a real asset and it's real money. Right now, you should be buying real assets, but be careful. I mean, this is going to lose its value to zero. However, it will get repriced in gold. Um, so everything priced in dollars goes to zero because it won't have a value. Your credit card should go to zero. Now, will it get changed to a gold back currency? So you owe 10,000 on your credit card. Well, now you owe zero. But then it might come back and say, well, now you owe 2,500 in gold back currency. And how will that trade? I fear your money in the bank will be lost because they need it, even though it'll be worthwhile. It'll be worthless. I don't know if you'll be able to get it out. And like I said, your house will be worthless. Everything in dollars will be zero, but it will come back in gold. So gold will buy whatever the free market. If you let it go, if you let the free market work and stop interfering with the stupid printing of the dollars, you'll be fine. So that's really the point of it, is to understand what's happening. So right now, the Fed of the U.S. is trying to block the gold price from going up. Now, the biggest reason I can see is we don't have any gold. And who does? Russia, China, BRICS, Zimbabwe. And if they let the gold price go up, they win because they have gold and we don't. So we don't want gold to go up because we don't have any. That's an obvious thing. The other thing is people will get out of the dollar because they see the gold price going up. They'll go, oh, we better get into gold, and you're going to buy gold with dollars. Now, they can't be this stupid that we're going to get into gold because your dollar's collapsing, not really because of the price of it. 23.46 holding up. So I'm just trying to make sure if our only doom is this 10 o'clock drop, which it's dropped, and now we're immediately back to 23.46, 23.50. that's the game they're going to play. And then by the end of the day, it'll zoom up to 2360, 2370, and I get to 2400. And that is the name of the game. That's the name of the game. So I think what people are waiting for, and I know I did this when I went to the gold store last week. I waited for the drop and then to come back up. So I think a lot of people are waiting to buy. So they see this drop 23 down to 23.32, and then okay, that's enough, and then they start buying. And they buy it a little cheaper because you paid, instead of paying 23.58 for it, you bought it for 23.30. But there's demand and it keeps getting bought and it keeps going back up in 23.46. So they're just waiting to buy it. So no matter when the US does this little game, and the problem is it's a derivative, it's paper, and it's not the real market. The real market's I buy and I sell. And if everybody buys, the price goes up. If everybody sells, the price goes down. However, this is not anybody selling. This is just strictly the government trying to short it with paper derivative. That's why we call it paper gold versus physical gold. The gold I buy at the store and I show you is physical gold. That price hasn't even been determined yet because nobody's really tracking it. They keep trying to deceive you with this paper price. So as they're cutting derivatives, lowering the price, and that's what they're doing with silver. Silver 28.48. So silver's hanging in there up 26 cents. As they're doing this, you think, oh, that's the price of gold. And you're all being scammed because you're well, let's call it you're being made off. I prefer that word. So you're being made off because you think the price is really going down of your physical, but it's apples and oranges. It's like doing this in a digital Mahomes card. So here's a digital Mahomes card, which is phony, and here's the real Mahomes card. So the real Mahomes card's price is $1,000, let's say. The digital, who knows what it is, but we don't care because we have the physical card. And when you have gold, if you have the physical gold, it's worth much more than the paper because these derivatives knock it down, but that's not real. That's paper. So once we get rid of the paper gold, it'll go way up. And believe me, BRICS wants to take it out of here and come up with a physical market. The more you have, the more you want it to be worth. So Russia, China want gold to be 10,000 an ounce, 20,000 an ounce. The US is sitting there wanting it to be $5 because they don't have any. Now, the question is, why isn't the US buying gold instead of these stupid wars? Then you survive. So I don't know what they're thinking. The dollars collapse. I don't know what they're thinking. These MMT guys say, oh, it's okay. Just keep printing and printing and printing. So they don't even understand there's a consequence to it. The boat sinks. And we understand it perfectly. Get off the boat into a lifeboat, and the only lifeboat is gold. There's no other lifeboat. Maybe a Rolex, but even that's going to go to zero and then get repriced in gold. So let's say it's a $50,000 Rolex. Now it goes to zero. But then the gold-backed currency comes out, and maybe it's $10,000 of gold-backed currency because the gold-backed currency will be worth quite a bit more than this shit. Right, this is basically worth zero. The gold-backed currency will be worth, 23.46 or whatever. Keep that in mind. So I just wanted to report that to you. Again, Zimbabwe has gone on the gold-backed currency. All the other countries will go to zero. And I don't really understand the correlation between let's have a war because my dollar's going out. How that it doesn't even make sense. I hope the war ends already. Apparently, Daria said her daughter was in school and they had a bomb threat or something from the Ukrainians, and they had to leave the school because of a bomb threat today. And I said, how's your daughter? She said, well, at first she was scared, but then she was happy that school was out. So I don't know where that bomb threat's coming from, but you can see, and she lives in St. Pete. She's not in Moscow, so I don't know what's going on. But again, it's terrible. It's the stress that's caused by the war, and there's no need. Why is Ukraine fighting Russia? It's ridiculous. The Russia won. They're up 72-0. There's no way they can lose. Why are we still fighting? And meanwhile, the Ukrainians have lost 500,000 to 600,000 people. A lot of people have left the country. I don't know what kind of master plan that is by George Soros, but seems to be one. And I don't know. It's just insane why they listen to this guy. I don't know why they listen to the MMT people who say keep printing the money. It's okay. The real reason is they're going to bankrupt each other. So maybe Soros wants everybody bankrupt for revenge of World War II because he's German. So hard to say, but that's what's going on. So don't get all stressed. Actually, they're buying opportunities. When it hits 23.32, that's when you buy. That's when I used to buy the stock. So now if I go to the gold store, I'm going at 10:30, and when I see it drop, and then I go, okay, now I'll buy. It's not much, maybe $10 or $20, but just the idea. And watch it go. I expect 2,500 by the end of the week. I don't know how much longer they can keep doing these derivatives. People aren't stupid. We're buying the gold because you've killed the money because you're using MMT techniques, which are print, print, print. So we understand that. That's why we're buying gold. The dollar price of the gold has nothing to do with it if you understand it. And that goes back to being stoic, understanding everything, and then you go from there. And that's really the point of it. That's why you need to learn, and then you stay stoic. You say confident. I know what's happening. I'm not going to get stressed. I'm going to be relaxed, and off you go. And that's basically what's happening. So there you go. That's really what I wanted to talk to you about was this. Don't be afraid of this when it's going up to 23.47 and silver 28.52. So again, it's going to move a lot. It's a paper price, not a physical one, but the physical people use it as the price, which makes no sense. So right now, the physical people are the stores are marking it at 23.47, and they're adding 100 for spot. So you're going to buy it for 24.47. But that's paper gold, and you're buying physical. So your physical is worth 5,000. And you're getting it for 24.47. That's the beauty of it. So the point is just to own the gold. That's the key. Own it. Just own the physical. And all you're trying to do, you're not income averaging. It's not a stock. It's totally different. It's money. It's real money, and it's gold, the most desired metal in the world, and it's indestructible. The professor stole 90 tons of gold from the Bank of Spain, not 90 tons of Bitcoin. He had to get that in. But it's really your only lifeboat is gold and silver. Now, I know the argument of silver, it's 28.54. Oh, it jumped up nicely. Gold 23.49. So I know the argument, well, it's cheap. It's going to go to $100 an ounce. It's really going to go to $1,000 an ounce. I should buy more. And I agree with that, but it's going to take longer because gold and silver are different on COMEX. Gold, they can't really do too much with because people, if they do the derivative and somebody wants it, they have to sell them the gold. They can't not sell it, and they don't have any gold. Where silver, they can play the bullshit game and just sell it to themselves, and then it never leaves COMEX, and so the price really, doesn't have to go. However, they are out of silver at COMEX, and at the ETFs never had a lot of gold and silver anyway. They're just Ponzi schemes. They have 1 ounce of gold, and they're selling it to 10,000 people. You'll never get physical gold out of the COMEX, out of the ETFs. It's just a Ponzi scheme. So beware of Rick Rude and that Sprout guy there. Just they're Madoffs, basically. So just be careful with them. You can't trust them. I hear this Rick Rude guy, and he wants to. He's talking about stocks. Well, the market's about to crash, you idiot. Why are you talking about stocks? Why aren't you talking about the market crashing? Because he doesn't know. He's just Madoff. He just is trying to make money off of you. He's just a scammer. So please be careful with that. Um, some of these guys, so you got to be careful who you're listening to. That's why I tell you to at least check with me if you hear it. And so our friend, what's his name? Last week came on. I want to say Bobby or Benny, but that doesn't sound right. Anyway, we had our friend come in, and he sent this video. He emailed it to me about what would you buy with $5,000, and I'm like, do you trust this guy? Who is some guy's shop? Do you trust him? Do you know who he is? And basically, he was clueless. Well, you need some junk silver. No, no. You buy gold right now. You buy mostly gold and a little bit of silver. Because gold's going to go, we're up to 2349. It's going to go to 5,000. Silver's going to go from 2850 through its murkiness to $50. Right? And so, yeah, you'll double your money in silver, but gold you'll make big money in. You'll go from 2350 to 2500 to 3000. So there's a big difference in gold really goes. Plus, if you need to go to Switzerland and you need some place to cash it, or you are traveling, put 5 ounces in your pocket at 5,000 an ounce is 25 grand at least. I mean, more. Where silver, what are you going to do with it? I mean, how are you going to carry a big box of silver with you? That's not worth nearly what the gold is. So it's just easier to take a few ounces of gold and nobody knows you have it than this big thing of silver, or even a couple of 20, the white tube, 20 ounces of silver, 40 ounces of silver at $100 versus 5 ounces of gold that nobody knows you have. So that's why I prefer more gold if you need to travel or we need to cash it somewhere. Then that's what you do. And you don't want to cash your gold and silver in for this crap. You're getting out of the boat sinking. The Titanic is sinking. So you're in a lifeboat, you're in gold and silver. If you're going to sell your gold and silver, you don't want to get back on the Titanic. You're about to go to the bottom of the ocean. So you don't want to get back into this thing. So what you're looking for when you do sell it, it's only for, I owe a mortgage payment, I need food, a doctor bill, and you're going to use it immediately for the expense. Okay, sell a little of it. Otherwise, you do not profit take. This is not a profit taking exercise. This is about getting off the boat onto the lifeboat. So therefore, you do not want to get off. You don't want to get off the lifeboat back into the boat. So you're not profit taking here. Believe me, you're going to make so much more. And the guy at the restaurant says, so when it hits 10 grand, what do? I go, wait till it hits 20 grand. What are you going to do with it? You can't get back onto the Titanic. So all he sees is, oh my God, the world's going to be in big trouble. And I go, no, it's not. The paper world, if you have this and you have this, you're going to be in trouble because they're printing the hell out of both of them, which means there's no value in either one, which means you don't want to own it. You don't want to be in that world. You want to be on there. But if you go into, I said, but if you go on gold and silver, you're fine. You have no problem. All right, back to 2350. Silver's up to 2860. There we go. So you want to get into the gold and silver world and out of the paper world, and then you'll be fine. You'll have the gold and silver. You won't lose value. Yes, a lot of people will be in dollars because either they're too poor. I hear that a lot with the lifeguards. I don't have any money for gold or silver. Well, you better tell whoever's paying your rent to buy gold and silver. That's why I gave Jenna. Jenna, lives in the Ukraine, and when I meet her, I give her gold and silver so she can protect herself and take care of herself. and it's going up and up and up. And I wish she'd get out, but her family's there, so she can't really leave, which I understand. But I can't really go there because I am not going into the middle of a war. That's insane. So really, we don't know what to do. But I do have an interview. I guess I called my guy. He said, "Yeah, they want to interview you. I'm just getting the facts." I'm like, "Perfect." So we will go from there. It's close by, and I'll be at the office every day. Okay, fine. I don't care. Really, I just want to get the money, pay down some credit cards, although they'll go to zero. Um, and off we go. So basically, so the rule is watch, this is paper gold, not physical. There's two totally, this is paper. Now we can see this had its drop at 10 o'clock, which is pretty normal. Now it's up to 23.51, silver 28.62. They're both paper prices. But if we buy physical, they're worth much, much more. Now this normally happens at 10 o'clock every day. It's the Fed trying to, I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to lower the price so people won't buy gold to stay in the dollar, but it's not working because there's so much demand for gold that it's not gonna work. That's the first thing, and then the second thing is they got to be losing their ass on it. Oh, we'll just print more money. Yeah, okay. So we can take advantage of it by knowing that, and then going and buying at 10:30. Now, last week they pulled a double whammy on me. It's a different word, but I can't think of it. Where they double crossed me is what I said. So I waited till 11 o'clock, and I saw it didn't go down. I said, okay. I went to buy a quarter ounce and some silvers, and it went down at 11:15. So they were monkeying around. Instead of 10 o'clock drop, it was 10 o'clock's fine. Oh, there won't be a drop. And then at 11:15, it dropped. It cost me $20. Not a big deal. But that's what's happening. So don't get stressed or think, oh my God, I'm losing money. It's all a Ponzi scheme. It's made off at its finest. It's just simply the US doing derivatives, which are just shorting. They're trying to bring the price down by shorting it. It's all paper. It's not real. It's got nothing, and nobody's selling their gold. In fact, everybody is buying. As you can see, it goes to 23.52 and it goes right back up to 23.51. So to me, it like goes down 25, but then it goes right back up. That's the demand. So people are waiting. Excuse me. People are waiting. We're anticipating this 10 o'clock drop. Then we buy after. So we understand it's not, nobody's selling. Jesus. Nobody's selling, nobody's profit taking. It's the Fed trying to do paper gold, trying to knock the price down, and we just buy it right after. The demand is so huge for gold between BRICS, the African countries. Zimbabwe needs more gold. BRICS are buying, China's buying, Russia's buying, India's buying. Argentina, I don't know who they elected. He's got his head up his ass. He should be on the gold standard to fix his country, and he doesn't. He's on the US dollar, and he's printing and printing and printing, and it's just worthless. So Argentina, the guy, just because you're an economist, if you're not an Austrian economist, you're not an economist. The Keynesians, that's why I bitch so much at these guys on YouTube. They're not economists. Most of them aren't. Alligator's not an economist. It's obvious because he doesn't know Austrian economics, so he doesn't know what he's talking about. I've offered him on Twitter. I says, I'll teach you Austrian economics if you want, but he's smarter than me, I guess. Where that's why we listen to Egon. He seems to be an Austrian economist. Mark McGuire is not an economist. He's a banker and stock guy and stuff like that. He knows something about economics, but not a lot. And the problem is this: there's so many. They come up with new names for economics. It's Reaganomics. It's Bidenomics. It's all bullshit. It's all Keynesian mostly. Reaganomics was Austrian, but all this other shit is just Keynesian. Most of it's Keynesian. Government control and printing money is Keynesian. Price fixing is Keynesian. So Austrian is free market. We just believe in free market. Whatever the market says is what we do. We do not print dollars to death. We have the gold standard. We have laws. We have free trade. We have low taxes. We have good money. That's what an Austrian is. But most of these people control it, want the government to control it, want to control you, want to tax you. And as I just paid my taxes Saturday, and I just paid my state tax, I only owed a few dollars on. So I'm gonna mail that in. I love how they charge $12 on these tax things for state tax. It's like, well, I can just fill it out and print it. It takes 5 minutes. Here you go. And I mail it in, and I'll go online and pay it. But so I got to go to like Myers now and just get a stamp and mail it out, and then go to swim. Well, I pay $12 to do it electronic when I can just go get a stamp. And that's why I want the dollars to be dollars. They can be digital also, but I want to own dollars because if I need, like now, I need $1 to go buy a stamp. Well, what am I going to do digitally? It's a pain in the ass. So I'll do that. Anyway, keep that in mind. That's the point of this. 23.50, 28. So it ebbs and flows, but it's by derivatives. So I think we've gotten most of our money back. It was 23.58 down to 23.32, back up to 23.51. So keep that in mind. Understand why it's dropping. It's not no demand. This is not a stock. This is a money you're buying. You're buying gold and silver. This is how they're keeping score with the paper, not physical also. And look for BRICS to come up with a way where they want to price the commodities in their price. Now, we've priced all our commodities cheap. I don't know what for, but believe me, Africa's itching to get higher commodities. China wants higher commodities. They want higher gold prices, higher silver, because they have them all. China's got all these commodities, so they want the price higher. But the key will be you must keep it at market prices. Not the gold and the silver, but wheat, let's say, or orange juice, or any of the stuff like that. You got to keep it at market. You can't price it so high nobody can buy it. Then what's the point? You make bread $100 a loaf, nobody's going to buy it. So you got it all, but you can't sell it. So it doesn't make any sense to keep it and then that. So keep that in mind. We'll be going, hopefully we go to a gold-backed currency, but I don't think we have any gold, which is incredibly stupid. Why we're not buying it now, maybe we are, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like we're the only central bank not. So they'll have options, move to a different country, move to Russia. You want to stay out of Canada? Everybody's leaving. They're broke. England's broke. I'm seeing all these YouTubes. England's broke. Canada's broke. U.S. is broke. Argentina's broke. Half the world's broke. And then here comes Zimbabwe with gold. They're not broke anymore. Here comes the BRICS countries. And now there's more and more people want it. There's like 10, and then there's another, like they want to get 40 countries in. So it gives you a choice of which country you want to move to. You'll have 40 countries to move to. But I don't know if we can stay here. It's going to be really bad because what dollar, if you don't have a strong dollar and a strong money, then the country's in ruins. I mean, you don't have anything. So you really want to get to a freer country. We've been good because we had gun control and sound money. Well, the money's ruined. We still have the gun control, but we'll have to figure out where to go. Because with gun control, nobody can come into your house if you have a gun or not. Without gun control, the criminals will get the guns. So they'll come into your house because they know you don't have a gun. So that's why you got to be clever and keep something to defend yourself. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I'll come back and do baseball later, Greg and John. Had a fairly good day yesterday. 1-1 on my picks. Hit Atlanta, and I think we lost Houston under. They scored late. The bullpen's screwing me up where they're either really strong or really weak. So if I got two 1.0 pitchers and I go under, it's good till the seventh inning, and then all of a sudden the other team score runs. Or if I have the over, then the pitcher only gives up a few runs, and then he leaves after three, and then the bullpen shuts you down, and you're like, okay, so I got to do more thinking. Football is much easier because they don't take the quarterback out. Mahomes is playing the whole game, so I don't have to worry about the reliever. So I'll have to do a little more thinking on baseball, but I'm getting pretty close. It's the pitcher's the quarterback. That's the key to the game. Anyway, we'll come back with that. Again, stoic, we know what's the right thing. We know gold and silver are the lifeboats, and we're fine with it. And we just stay strong, and you know that's the correct path. So you just be stoic, which means you be very confident. You know what's going on. If somebody says, "Oh, you don't go to gold," you go, "Yes, we do," and that's all you can do. I mean, you know it's the correct thing, so that's basically what you're doing. The gold price is going up. You don't want to sell because you don't want to get into dollars. There's no point of selling to get into here. And this is not, we're not buying gold as a investment. We're buying gold as security to get out of the dollar, which is going to zero. And we're getting a bump that it's going to go way up in value because it's been held down so much. And with all the demand for gold, the price will go to the roof. So we're not looking to profit take. There's no profit to take because there's nowhere to change your gold into unless there's gold backed currency, but there's no reason that you're gonna, gold price isn't going down. You're gonna make money. So just remember that every $100 I make a lot of money. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is my job. I knew gold would be my job somehow. So that's all it is. Every $100 I makes a lot of money, and off I go. I supposedly have some interview in the next couple of days with this one recruiter. So I'm so prepared for interviews, not a problem at all. And that's it. So anyway, have a nice day. I'm going to mail in my tax return for the state. I've already done federal on Saturday. I've already paid. And then I'm going to mail it at Myers, and then I'm going to swim at the club, and then I'll be back in the afternoon to do baseball, and we'll take a look at the gold and economics and anything else. But I wanted to do this just to tell you the paper price of gold. Right now we're at 23.48, 28.57 for silver. So it's holding up nicely between 23.46 and 23.51. I look for a breakout later, but I'm not looking. We've got the hit. We've got that momentum, and we survived it. So like I said, it went from 23.58 down to 23.32, and now it's back to 23.50. So we survived their best shot, and now we're going up, and there shouldn't be any more knockdowns. It should all be up, up, up. They only do it once at like 10 o'clock. It's sort of like a price fix adjustment from England. And that's it. But they only do it once. So now it's past 10 o'clock. They've done it, and now it should just fly. So hopefully we can get out of here tonight with the 23.75, 23.80, and silver probably back near 29. So that'll be good. Anyway, happy Patriots Day to our family in New England. And again, have a good day. I will be back in a couple hours. Like I said, I'm usually at the pool an hour and a half because I also go on the bike. I need to get there. I need to shower. I need to get home. And then I need to this time stop and mail in my state tax. I need a stamp for that. I thought I had a stamp around, but whatever. I'll just go buy one. Anyway, that's it. I will talk to you later. So just stay calm and relaxed, stoic. Gold price is 23.48, silver 28.58, and it's going to go much higher because of the demand and the BRICS and everybody wanting gold, and the dollar going out. But this is not the dollar going down and the gold going up. This is the demand for gold pushing it up, fighting the paper gold, and that's what this is. So uh, the dollar. See what makes no sense about Alligator saying that. The dollar's at zero. So where's it going? It's not going down. It is down. So that's the problem with some of these guys on YouTube. They hear things and they use them. Like I've heard guys say Titanic, they're stealing my stuff, but they don't know how to use it. I brought up Ponzi scheme, but they don't know how to use it. They don't understand it. They just hear me say, oh, a Ponzi scheme, oh, Titanic. They don't know how to use it to show what's really happening like I do. Anyway, I will talk to you later. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com. My email's there. You can see my history of my football. Had a great year. And we'll start posting some baseball probably in about 2 weeks. We'll get back into that, and we'll just be very selective, 2 or 3 games, and off we go. All right, everybody, take care.